Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
I loved every second of it.
I shouldn't have started recording as I started eating this chocolate. So why don't you intro us in, being that I just started recording?
Matt, usual, with his mouth full. Welcome to the What to the Gays Thing podcast. Today, I am still Patrick, unfortunately, but I am... What's the antonym? Oh, fortunately. Hello? I'm fortunate. Unfortunately, I am fortunately joined by my co-host, who is always the same person, Matthew.
Yeah. It's funny because I did have something to call you today. I was going to call you my Dunkin' iced latte because you make me shit.
Because me shit. Nice.
Anyway, Pat, how are you doing today?
Amazing.
Amazing.
The past 2 days, well, after the shit show that was my week / previous week, the last yesterday and then this morning, I don't know. Serotonin. I'm meeting her for the first time. Or maybe like we're reconnecting after years of being apart. So.
Oh, how sweet. It's like a long lost lovers, you know?
Yeah, I got my oolong tea, which is beautiful, piping.
Did you have a good time at the birthday party last night? You went to a birthday party, right?
I did. It was lovely. Dinner was expensive, but you know, it's the city, so like what can you do?
Yeah.
But that leads me to my butt story. My tangentially related butt story. No, it barely has to do with it, but I just remember it. So we go to this restaurant, and they bring the drink menu over, and it's like all different cocktails that have all these like unique names. I can't identify anything, so I read all the ingredients. And there's one that's like, it basically has tequila, earthly flavors, and then there's an asterisk that says not for the faint of soul.
Okay, that's a little cryptic.
And I was like, well, tequila, I know I'll like it. So I was like, hey, can I... And it's,
for me, it's the opposite. I'm like, tequila. Ugh.
I think it was called like Hermanos Bosch or something. It's some dumb name. So we all order drinks, and everyone gets their drinks, and they put my drink down last, and he goes, I need to tell you something about this. And I'm like, here we go.
Does it taste like ass?
No, it doesn't taste like ass. He's like, this drink is actually an experience. And I was like, I just wanted a drink. So he puts the drink down, which is like just served in a rocks glass that has a big chunk of ice in it. It's got tequila. It looks like it's mixed with some sort of like little like fruit seeds and maybe like some pink liqueur like mixture syrup. And then he puts a little plate down, and on the plate is this tiny little bud of something. And he goes, yeah, so you take a sip of the cocktail to get a sense of what it tastes like. Then you put this flower bud on your mouth, let it sort of rest, and then you swallow it, and then you take a sip, and the flower, how it interacts with your taste buds, will change how you perceive the drink.
Okay.
And I was like, here we fucking go. So everyone's watching me now. I can feel my face getting red because like everyone's watching me just drink this alcohol. So I take a sip. It's lovely. Doesn't really taste like tequila. It's sort of just sweet. I put the thing on my mouth. I roll it around. It's plant. It tastes like grass. Like it's how grass smells when you mow the lawn.
Oh, I love that smell.
I was just like, this is like planty. And then while it's in my mouth, I take a sip. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's like a little less sweet. And then I let it sit more, and I swallow it, and then my tongue feels like you had a warhead on it. Like when you had that really sour candy resting on your tongue, and it starts to feel like you're burning off taste buds, basically. Okay. And I was like, I don't like this. So then I'm like, well, this is probably what I had to wait for. So I take another sip, and it did change the flavor. It became more like a little more bitter, a little more sour flavor, like than sweet. So I was like, huh, interesting. And then like 2 minutes later, the effect was gone, and it was back to tasting like it was. But then this morning, I shit it out, and it was still the same plant material.
You shit out the plant.
Yeah, it didn't get that. Well, it can't, cellulose isn't digested by human guts. So it just came out the exact same way. It's just like a little bud. And I was like, oh right, I did that. I did that yesterday. So
there it is. Look at that.
Yeah, that's my story.
Yeah, the bud came out of your butt.
Yeah, but the rest of the night was lovely. We went to a couple bars. The music. The music. was so good. It was so good. Oh, it was so good. It was like new Beyonce, recent Gaga, Britney, Nicki, a little Katy Perry. Then there was Adele and Taylor Swift for some reason. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm loving every second of it.
I
So
was just reading a tweet online that was like, every time a gay man goes to a club and hears like any song from like a woman pop artist and just screaming, ah, yes!
I this is what happened. Okay, so to be brief, one of my friends' name is Garrett, and he and I were talking because at the first bar they had like low music playing, no one was dancing, and he's like, "Yeah, Beyonce, one of Beyonce's new songs came out," and we go, "Oh my god, I love that new album," and I was like, "Yeah, they better play like more of it." So we get to the other bar, and they start with Lady Gaga's music, which all of us had been to the Gaga concert, so we were like, "Oh my god, like lit! I love this music. It was so good at the
Yeah.
concert." And then every time a Beyonce song came on, I turned to Garrett and I touched him on the shoulder and I was like, "It's on." And he goes, "Yes." Just started
Every
dancing.
time, every time.
Oh, it was so good. Oh, and then I got like a free drink, which was nice.
Nice. Was it
But then,
because you're hot? Is that why?
no, a friend of mine was able to get me one, and he didn't have me pay for it. I don't think he paid for it either. And then I drank like half of it, and someone pushed into me, and I dropped it on the floor.
Oh well, can't win them all, can you?
I drank so much last night. Oh my God. It was just like I don't drink a lot anymore, so drinking that much was just not hungover though.
I was gonna say you seem pretty good. So clearly you got your fill of water, probably.
I got home, I had two bananas, I chugged water, I woke
Mm.
up and I was like, oh,
Oh wow.
my neck hurts because I slept wrong. But besides that, I was like, oh.
I had heard recently that for a lot of drugs, including alcohol, you will drink a lot of it, and then even though you perceive yourself as sober the next day, the effects of it still last for like a day. Um,
Well, yeah,
in
depending
terms of
on what
like
you're
brain function, like you could still be a little bit slower
right.
in general. And I was like, wow. But I don't feel that as much as alcohol as I do with weed. Whereas if I get high one night, I will feel slow for
Yeah.
like a day, maybe a day and a half afterwards.
Well, it's all about how much you take. It's about, a ton of factors. But yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that like certain drugs will stay in your system a lot longer and will affect your or impair you for a lot longer. So
Yeah.
that's just the way it is.
Here's a question for you. You ever
Tell me.
you ever go to the doctors and they call you into the room and then you're sitting there for an hour
Yes,
before they come into the room?
yes.
Now, you're a little bit more, I don't want to say, you're a little bit more knowledgeable about the medical field than I am, I feel. Why? Do you know why doctors take so long to come into the room?
No, I don't know. I can only imagine it's because like uh I don't I don't know. Also, like, why when I try to make an appointment with my primary, he's like, "Yeah, I have something in 2 weeks," and I'm like, "I'm sick now. Like, what am I supposed to do in 2 weeks?" Like I understand if I'm getting a physical or if I have to get like blood work for no specific reason. I'm like, yeah, I can wait a week or 2 weeks. But like, oh, he's got something 2 Wednesdays from now at 8:45 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon when I know you're working, and I'm like, why?
What?
And yeah, and then you get there, excuse me while I turn my space heater off. You get there and it's like your appointment's at 8:45. Let's say you get there at 8:30, 8:40, even 8:45 itself. You're still waiting in the waiting room. They
Oh,
call
yeah.
you in. The nurse brings you into the the room, and then you're sitting there. 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes go by, and
So
I'm
good.
like, God.
Now, okay, I don't want to be a bitch. So if anyone is
I
listening to this
will.
podcast and is from the medical field, I'm certain that there's a reason that the doctors take so long. Maybe it's they're getting paperwork ready. Maybe they're with other patients. Like I don't know, but like why is it every time? And this is not just the doctor. This is the vet too. I was with Axel at the
Oh
vet the other
yes.
day. They call me into the room, and I'm sitting in the room with Axel, who is an energetic puppy, by the way. So it's hard to keep him entertained, especially in a really bland vet room. So he's running around whining, and it's 45 minutes before the vet actually comes into the room. I'm like, ugh. I don't even have
Yeah.
a toy to entertain him with.
I mean, your hand.
Oh my, I don't want him biting my hand though. I don't. Um.
uh,
Anyway, student loan forgiveness.
Wait, my vet is actually kind of nice, I will say.
Okay, I ruined my transition. Whatever. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, what happens is like I'll get there and I'll just wait in the waiting room for a while, but once they get in, they're in. Like they're ready to, and I leave and they get sent out and whatever.
Oh, wow.
But it's the longest part is after because they have to ring me up and it takes somehow I'm sitting there with my dog, everything's done, and getting the paperwork from the vet, the nurse, to the receptionist person to ring me up takes forever. Like they're in the back room shaving a tree to make paper, writing it down in fucking ink, and then rolling it up, messenger pigeoning it over one room.
Messenger pigeoning it. Yeah.
I
Are
hate it.
messenger pigeons extinct, or is that
I don't know. I don't think people use it now. It's like why?
no? But the like, no, not the like process of it. I mean, like the bird. I'm pretty sure is extinct.
Well,
Or sorry, it's the passenger pigeon. I think the passenger pigeon is extinct.
well, what the hell's that?
I forget. Let's look
Anyway, student loan forgiveness.
oh my god! Now I was gonna look up passenger pigeon.
Wow, way to ruin my transition.
What? My god! My god. Okay, the passenger pigeon. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
an extinct species that was in North America. They apparently used to be everywhere until we killed them all, I guess. Rip. Because they were like endemic to the part of like New York City, and then I guess New York City happened and they all went extinct.
Well, what are the real? Oh my god, what are the current pigeons then?
They're not passenger pigeons, I'll tell you that. And they're probably
Same.
related. I don't know. Student loan
Everything's
forgiveness.
related. Student loan forgiveness. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
How much
So
are you getting?
none. That's fine. Um,
Is it because you don't have any loans?
I don't have any loans. No. Do
Wow,
you?
good for you. Yes. Well, yes, I do.
So yeah, Biden announced that upcoming, I believe the like form to fill out to like sign up for it starts in October or something like that. He announces that he's going to forgive $10,000 in federal student loans for everyone who has federal student loans, or $20,000 for those who have Pell Grants.
Yes.
Now I don't know the criteria to get a Pell Grant, but I'm assuming
Or
yeah, I'm assuming you have to be financially unstable or financially impaired.
unstable. Do you mean unstable?
Unstable, instable, I don't know. One of those
Is unstable
inverted,
a word?
destable, unstable. All those
Destabilized.
flip like things that you could put in front of a word. What are they called? I don't know.
Prefixes?
Yeah, prefixes, like the inverse prefixes.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then it caps out at a certain point. Like it caps out, I think, 125,000 salary or 250,000 for married households. How do we feel about this? Because I'm into it. What about you? Obviously, you're into it because you're getting something.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I wish it was more, but I love it and I'll take it. How many times have
Is
I said
it
that?
is it enough? Because
No.
we've talked about student loan forgiveness a couple times on this podcast, and I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of times we've said that that's not going to be enough. So what do you have to say about it?
It's not. Also, it is only targeting federal loans and not private loans, which are worse.
Mhm.
And I think private loan, I mean, they're both loan types are predatory because they are financially fucking usually younger people because people go to college when they're younger,
Yeah.
mostly, or sometimes they don't. And then the private loans, however, just get to fucking do what they've been doing, which is usually higher interest rates, worse payment options in terms of the amount they'll forgive or the scale they do for like how much you make and how much of your income can you use to actually pay back your loan. So I think it's great that you're getting something, but it's not enough on both parts. It's not enough for federal, and then you don't even scratch the surface with private loans, which are objectively worse.
Well, I don't think the federal government could forgive private loans.
No, but they can regulate loan companies.
Oh, well, I wish they did, but they don't. Or
I
they
don't.
could. I don't know how it works.
I I don't know how necessarily it would work, but I think the federal government should be in charge of loaning money for education. I don't think private businesses and individual states should have that power.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Well, I think the federal government should regulate a lot of things, not just that. I think they
well,
should
because
regulate, health insurance too. Like,
exactly,
but that's socialism.
communism.
Communism.
Yeah, that's socialism. Whoops.
Oh, hoopsie daisies. But yeah. So what do you think? Since you say 10,000/20,000 is not enough, what would have been enough? Or would you think like
Um,
total loan forgiveness? Like what would have been good?
I think I don't because what are they trying to say with the number like 10,000 and then 20,000 for people who have Pell Grants? Like what is the message there? Is it that the government only sees this amount as being enough that they can actually forgive because they don't have enough money to forgive more? Is it, did they come up with that number looking at everyone's total loan amount? I saw that chart that I sent to you where it was like most people have loans in that range, so it will affect a lot of people, which is great.
Um,
But, it's not enough for other people. So I don't know. I would love it if all loans got forgiven. I don't think trying to better yourself and get a better job or become more knowledgeable or become better at a skill should put you into debt, especially when you give back to society when you actually can use those skills in a real job. So I don't know,
yeah,
but I
and
want
I
more.
I don't like the people that are going around saying, mostly like conservatives, but some other people too. People going around saying like, don't take out loans if you can't pay them back. And I'm like, okay, so if you don't take out the loan to go to college, then you're not going to college. So then you're going to
Yeah.
be working a minimum wage job, if anything.
Yeah.
You have no chance to climb the economic ladder without a college degree because nowadays, in order to get any higher paying jobs, you need a college degree. Even some minimum wage jobs, you need to have a college degree in order to get those jobs too.
Yeah.
So it's a barrier that is being placed, and the only people that can get past that barrier are either people who take out loans, so they're being predatory on these poor people,
Hmm.
or the financially stable people who can actually, I don't know, get money from their parents, or they, I don't know. But there's like an economic barrier there that
Well, yeah, and the people that get through are usually more often than not white people. So that's why
exactly.
conservatives like it. Because conservatives like two things. They like white people having access to everything, and they like a dumb, uneducated population. So if they put a financial barrier, you cannot have an educated population if they can't pay for it. And that those that are educated are usually those that have money who are white people, which is what they want because then they get more white people to, control the government and control the country. So
And you
it's
know
not.
what? You know what? It's so dumb because you do not need a college degree for some of these jobs out there. Like
Mm.
entry level jobs where you just like use Excel or like some of these basic ass programs. Uh,
Prism.
I don't know about Prism. I feel like you don't need a college degree in order to actually do this type of stuff. Like for
No.
me, my college degrees, the two of them that I had, were useless for my current field. I had to get a master's specifically in my field in order to actually learn something that's
Yeah.
related to what I'm doing now. My bachelors were useless, honestly.
Well, mine wasn't.
Well,
I actually use a lot of what I learned, of the theoretical that I learned in my bachelor's
right.
degree.
That's
Uh,
good.
I didn't learn a lot of skill. Well, I learned some, but I didn't, like the skills I really got were from my current degree, which is my advanced degree. So yeah, but the theory was there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't like the
No.
way that this country works.
Well, soon you won't have to worry about it because the world's gonna flood. You see what happened in Pakistan?
No, I didn't. What happened in Pakistan?
There's huge flooding, I think, because of monsoons, and I think there was an estimate that like 33% of the country might just be underwater soon.
Oh, yikes. I didn't see
So,
this. Where's the reporting on it?
it's all over the news, sweetie. Here, I'll pull up an article for you. I'm just
Is it
gonna
today? Was
Google.
this
This was like 2 days ago or yesterday.
Guess I just live under a rock. I don't know.
I mean, you just don't care about the Middle East.
Okay, Slay.
Yeah. Pakistan appeals for immense international response to floods. Currently, it's left 1,265 people dead during monsoon season.
Oh.
It's an unprecedented amount of flooding. This is on The Guardian. According to initial government estimates, the rain and flooding have caused around, I guess that's 10 billion. Yeah, 10 billion in damage. The scale of devastation is massive. It requires an immense humanitarian response for 33 million people. For this, I appeal to my fellow Pakistanis, Pakistan expatriates, and the international community to help Pakistan in this hour of need. The federal planning minister, I will not pronounce his name because I can't, said at a news conference. Um, yeah, so a lot of
That is not
people are
good.
saying that, I mean, monsoon season in these areas are always bad because there is a lot of flooding, but a lot of people are saying that this is like one of the real markers of like climate change starting to finally occur where you're getting extremes of weather. Uh,
I mean, yes, absolutely. But we've seen more of this recently as well. We've seen like I don't know, dozens of hurricanes that have just like devastated parts.
yeah, all the wildfires and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, wildfires going on in Australia. We've seen hurricanes devastate, places like Puerto Rico, some other islands, nations in that area. Texas got hit by a pretty bad hurricane. Florida just keeps getting slammed. Like,
Uh,
are we not aware that this stuff is happening? Like, we should be. We had that whole drought that happened here as well, like basically
Listen,
across the country.
I'm just reporting the news.
No,
There's a
no,
CNN
no. I know,
article
I know.
that says there's now a massive 100-kilometer wide inland lake in Pakistan. Quote, monsoon on steroids. Jesus Christ. Um, yeah, these images are not flood of apocalyptic proportions. Resembles a small ocean. For those of you who don't
Hmm.
have a visual grasp of what this looks like, your imagination can help you.
Yeah, and Republicans will still say that climate change, we don't need to do anything about it. Like, bitch.
I was watching something recently.
Yeah,
I keep getting Neil deGrasse Tyson videos on TikTok,
I like
and
Neil
like
deGrasse Tyson.
I do. He's fun.
Yeah.
Um, he keeps getting. It's like I think like one of two interviews I keep seeing, and it's basically these people just ask him very like grand cosmic questions
Hmm.
about what's going on in the universe or what could happen later on. Blah 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 blah. And one of them was like, someone was asking if we are a basically a hologram or or an imprint of a higher dimension.
Yeah, yeah, you sent me this video, yeah.
And I was like, I it wasn't like one of those videos that like I watched it and was like, oh my God, my brain, it's broken. Like I can't believe this. No, it was one of those things where I was like, do we even care about this? I was like, I get it. It's so cool to think about some things in science. Like I love thinking about certain things in science, but I know there's some things that like I so the idea is that like, there's something happening in a higher dimension, and this what we're experiencing is simply a shadow of what is happening in that dimension.
Yeah.
And that, you know, whatever, but like why are we talking about this shit?
I see it. You know what I've realized about you is that you don't really like things that like try to explain how the universe works and like space and time and that stuff. Because you're like
I
that has no practical application to
No,
what's going
no.
on with us.
I
And I understand
I
that.
like it. I like it when it's actually like more fully understood.
Right.
And I understand that people need to research certain things to understand them. So yeah, at certain points you may just be postulating about something and not have the evidence, but you still have to research it and you figure it out. Just like us figuring out things like gravity, all the, weak and strong nuclear forces. But that question, I was like, no one's fucking actively researching that. And if they are, good luck to them. I don't know how you figure out if that's true or not.
One day when wormholes exist and we can pass through to different points in space that are different to our own, this stuff might
I
matter. Who knows?
if we ever get to that point, I think humanity is gonna be long dead before we get to anything like interstellar travel. I think we will have killed ourselves or the planet
Oh
long
yeah.
before we are capable of leaving this planet.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
somewhere else. It's impossible that we are too stupid. Like human beings, if you think about it, like, oh my God, if you look at like our nearest relatives, like apes and shit, they don't know about science. They don't know how to like fucking build shit like that. It is
Yeah, yeah.
technologically advanced. You know, it's more simple. But like, does that just mean that we're like we have nothing to compare ourselves to at our level of consciousness, at our level of intelligence? So we just assume that we're doing great, we're making all these advancements. We're probably like so worse off than other things in this universe.
Oh yeah, if there is other life in the universe, like who knows? There could be way better, like intelligent creatures than us.
Yeah, and we're the shit.
Isn't it
Like,
wild? Isn't it wild that evolution has been going on for what, billions of years now?
well, if
And
it's
the
true.
what came out of it as the most intelligent creature is humans?
Yeah.
This is
This
what this is
this
the
is
highest
it.
this is the highest form of evolution that Earth could possibly create.
Listen, the conditions were right for something to be made, and it turned out like
We
this.
should have just all became crabs like we were supposed to be, honestly.
Carcinization.
Yeah, hang on, I'm gonna eat a chocolate.
Well, you know, there are things like the ideas of convergent evolution where some things will just converge onto something to evolve into.
Hmm.
And there's this like cool little not theory, but people will talk about like certain structures are found through the universe routinely, like spiral structures. Our
Hmm.
DNA is in a spiral. A lot of galaxies are in spirals. Plant growth can sometimes be modeled in spirals. So like some things for some reason just always end up in one way. So it could be that elsewhere there are humans, but I suspect they would look a little different, obviously, but in general, they might still be very similar to us. They would just be more intelligent because we
Hmm.
can't be the smartest thing in the universe because we're so fucking stupid. And
Hmm.
if we're the smartest thing in the universe is fucked.
You know what I think is crazy? So, the current leading theory about the universe is that our universe is finite. So
Yeah,
it stops at some point. Because if the universe is infinite, goes on forever, never stops, then somewhere in the cosmos, far, far away, there is another planet that is exactly like Earth, that has gone through the same evolutionary processes, and basically another you would exist with just small differences. Because if the universe is infinite, there's only so many ways that particles can like rearrange themselves. So basically, there
yeah,
could be an infinite number of Earths where with an infinite number of yous within the same universe.
yeah,
If it was infinite,
yes. I mean, it's infinitely expanding so far until it stops.
until it stops and collapses, and then I don't know.
Or did you read that book, The End of Everything?
No,
It's about all the different ways the universe is gonna die.
can't
One of
wait.
them one of them is that it just immediately collapses in on itself. It's like a rubber band. And one of the other ones is that it just thins out. Like it keeps
Mm,
expanding and then literally the tissue holding space-time just starts to fray and it just goes
nice, I love that.
there were several others, but that book is wild. See, that's fun because the author gives like a lot of like rationale and explanation and metaphor because some of these things are really hard to think about, and does a really good job explaining it.
A lot. This is breaking my brain. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Sarah Palin real quick.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't. She lost. A Democrat won. I understand this is objectively good. I just don't care though. I can't. I can't care anymore about politics. I need a break. It's so tiring. All right. She lost or a Democrat won. I'm happy for them. I'm so proud of them. The world is still fucked anyway.
Okay, on that point though, objectively,
Oh
yes, good.
god.
That
Yes.
seat is gonna go up for election again in November anyway. So like, it doesn't even. This woman who won will be in Congress for 4 months,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna have another election. Who knows what's gonna happen then? It will probably go back to Republicans. So like, what was the point? I don't know. But it's also possible that I don't know. Maybe it stays in Democrat hands. I don't know. But I think this is a sign that people are pissed, probably about Roe versus Wade being overturned, and a number of other things like gas prices going down, and generally inflation is going down as well. So who knows? Maybe coming the November midterms, Democrats will keep the Congress. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay.
I want to stay optimistic and I want to stay positive and I want to be like, yes, you can be the change you want to see in the world. But I know too much. I've seen too much. I've seen too much. I've seen too many things go wrong where it shouldn't have happened, and I'm just
uh,
like I'm happy Sarah Palin's gone. I hope she fucking works at a Wendy's for the rest of her life, fucking serving gruel, getting minimum wage.
well,
But
how do you feel about ranked choice voting?
God, more politics. What is it? I saw Andrew Yang talking about it on Twitter, and I saw it, and I didn't want to click on it. What is it like?
Yeah.
Basically, like, I want this one first. If not this one, this one. If not that one, this one.
Basically, yeah, you just rank the people that you want to vote
Okay.
for. So in this Alaska race, there was a Democrat and 2 Republicans were the top contenders. So 60%, when you initially count the votes, 60% of people did vote for a Republican first.
Okay.
But the third place Republican didn't make it. So their votes get distributed to whoever their second choice was. And apparently, enough people chose the Democrat as the second choice over Sarah Palin that it was
Yeah.
enough to put the Democrat to the win, which I just find hilarious.
I mean, it's nice because the individual's voting power is stronger that way
Yeah.
because you're giving them more options. It's not it's obviously not like the fucking electoral college. It's very much one vote, for one person. But then you also do have like, hey, if this fucker who I really want doesn't get in, I want this fucker next. And I think that's
Exactly.
lit.
And you know what? It makes it so that you could vote third party if you really wanted to, and it wouldn't necessarily throw away your vote. Which I
Yeah,
think is why Andrew Yang is like, yeah, let's go for it. Because then people could vote for the forward party, but then not worry about their votes being taken away from the Democrats or something, and then that would force the Republican to win. Things like
yeah.
that.
Well, you never want to split the vote like that for your party because, you fuck over a lot of people like that.
All right, I'll stop talking about politics.
No,
Um,
no, let's keep going. What else do you
I
got?
don't have anything else. I don't. Dark Brandon is doing a lot of good things. Um,
Did you
those.
see what do I know what?
I was gonna say, those surveys that ask like, not surveys or those polling places that always ask like, do you approve of the president's job performance right now? And if
Yeah.
you asked me this question 3 months ago, I probably would have said no. I do not approve of the job this president is doing.
Yeah.
If you asked
Makes
me
sense.
right now, I would probably say yes, because there have been a string of good things that I've been, talking about that I've been pushing for, like the climate change legislation, the student loan forgiveness, inflation's going down. I would probably say yes at this point.
Slay. I
Slay.
think I mean I think he's got more pep in his step.
Mm.
Like he's a little more active. I think it's because he knows the midterms is coming up and he's like, we took a loss for Roe v. Wade. We got to start pumping out some good news so people will want to vote for us. The speech he made with that dark red background saying how MAGA and the Republicans who are in that ideology are the real threat to America, looking like fucking
Looking like
looking,
Satan.
looking like Emperor Palpatine, Star Wars, wrinkled ass, old man, fucking Sith colors in the background going, this is the real threat to the Republic.
I kind of lived for it. I really lived
I
for it.
I think it's important because I think it's important that he speaks on the general idea that our democracy is worth fighting for
Yeah.
and that free fair elections, things like that are something we should aspire to. And you need to point the finger at someone. And it's good to make a boogeyman because then you can have people rally behind you against those things. So same thing Trump did with like the radical left, to his constituents. He said, well, these people are going to take away your guns. They're going to want you marrying dogs. They're going to want your kids trans
Marrying
before
dogs.
before they're 5 years old on hormones. So he did the same thing. So it's a good political tactic. But I think the iconography of him looking like Palpatine in that dark red, blood red background lights up wherever he was. I think he was outside the White House or some shit. I don't know. It's just the striking visual.
I loved it. I fucking loved it.
That was gaggy.
It was gays go. The gays went gaga for Biden right there. God. Honestly, slay.
Did you see what I put in the group chat?
What was it?
It was like, wait, it was the Instagram. I'll just pull it up. I don't want to misquote myself. Basically, I think John was like, someone was like, would you kiss Biden if he canceled all loans? And I said, oh, I'd fuck that old man. I'd fuck the wheels right off that walker. Those tennis balls in the walker up my ass.
Okay,
which is a bastardization of a Trixie Mattel quote to give credit where credit is due.
Great.
Yeah,
so good things going on in politics, but let's move on from politics since I know that you hate it.
Like I said, I'm feeling very happy right now, and every time I think of politics, it makes me very unhappy.
Okay, let's talk about us. This stupid story. Jesus Christ. Okay. So obviously you know about the rumor, the conspiracy theory that Lea Michele from Glee cannot read.
God. Yes, knew about this. Yes.
How long has this been going on, this rumor?
Years it's been going on.
I think I saw a TikTok about it like maybe 6 months ago that was going through and explaining like why this conspiracy theory is a thing. Like all these different times that it's like, oh, Lea Michele, she said something weird. Like, did she even read that? Like,
she literally wrote a book. Like, how do you not know how to read? Like, it's wild.
She just spoke the words and someone else wrote it down for her.
Oh my God. So what about it? What about her not being able to read?
Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, there was she addressed this rumor.
Yes.
And she was basically like, I don't think this rumor would exist if I was a man. So is this rumor that she can't read, is it misogynist? Is it like a sexist take or no?
I don't know.
I think it's just like jokes and fun. Like, I don't think it's misogyny.
I'm trying to think of a time where like a male celebrity. I mean, there's the thing that Armie Hammer's a cannibal, but like there's actual evidence that he might be, so that's not a joke. That's like something we have to take serious. So I guess if Lea Michele was a man, they think she's a cannibal, but no, I mean, I can't. As a man, I'm biased, obviously. Yeah. So it's not hard to call out misogyny, but I can be swayed to think some things aren't misogynistic because society has put certain things up for me, and I just take them for granted and not analyze them as well as I should sometimes. So I don't think it's misogyny, though, but I could be wrong. I just think it's fucking funny and stupid. Like, can we go back to the time where someone said that she shit in her wig on the set of Glee? Like, let's have that conversation. Let's have that conversation.
I heard that she's like not a good person.
I heard she's very difficult to work with because of how like, I don't know if dedicated is the right word, but she's just very like, she doesn't fuck around.
Yeah. Obviously she can read. Like this is not. Yeah. That's not up for debate. Like obviously she can read. I just think it's funny that there's this rumor like, oh my God, she can't read.
Like scripts daily from Glee. She's been in multiple like Broadway productions or theater productions where she had to read her lines to memorize. Like, is everything just dictated towards her and she just remembers it through the dictation and she's like, I got this.
If someone's just reading her lines to her and she's like, okay, we on this.
Yeah, every time a teleprompter goes in front of her, she goes, what is that? That fucking tweet you sent? It was like, Trump showed Lea Michele the fucking secret documents, but the FBI is not worried.
Yes. That's what ended me. That is what ended me. I
I
swear.
screamed.
FBI not worried
Screamed.
about allegations that Trump showed Lea Michele the classified documents.
Oh my god.
Apparently, some of those classified folders were missing documents, though. Where'd they go?
He probably ate them, just like he eats everything. Have you seen the man? He's
Oh my
grotesque.
god. Or he flushed them down the toilet. I don't know.
With his nasty shit. He probably takes nasty shits. Like, I'm sure he's not regular. I'm sure it's not solid, nice brown, dark brown poop. It's probably like
Right.
slimy, wet,
Do you
just
think
fucking
that
soft serve.
ew? Do you think that Trump has a lot of coffee? He's like a coffee
No,
drinker.
he drinks fucking soda all the time.
That's just as okay. It still has caffeine in it, so his
Well, yeah, I just
bowels
mean
are
like,
still probably wrecked.
oh, like, I think his insides don't look right. Like they're probably a gray, soppy, wet, deteriorating,
Ooh,
nasty, cobweb-infused mess in there.
cobwebs.
Then you're gonna open him up when he dies and go, "What the fuck was
What
this
was
man?
going
This
on
isn't
in
even
this man's body?
human. It's not even human. The anatomy's all wrong." Call
Oh my
Meredith
god,
Grey.
Trump lizard person. Just saying. Just saying.
God, did you finish Uncoupled? Did we talk about that?
I did finish Uncoupled, yes, but I thought we were gonna save it. But
Oh, right, we are. Yeah. Did you watch Sandman yet?
I started playing the first episode last night.
And you fall asleep.
I didn't fall asleep. No, I started playing the episode last night, and then literally 2 minutes into the show, Axel starts crying, and I was like, "Well, here we are." So I had to deal with the puppies, and I did not get past the first 2 minutes, but I will.
Well,
I will. I promise.
if I start crying, are you gonna take care of me?
Uh, yes, of course I would take care of you if you were
Oh,
crying.
how
Of course.
sweet. How
Of
sweet.
course. You're just bawling from like you're just way too drunk. Bawling. I just love you guys so much.
Something similar happened last night where I just
You were
texted my
crying?
no, I just told my friend Ross, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy we're friends." And he's like, "Me too."
Amazing.
It was one of those kind of nights. Let me before we leave, because we're basically, unless you had something else.
No, we're wrapping up.
Let me see. I'm gonna recount how many drinks I had last night.
Okay.
So I had two at dinner. I had that fucking weird tequila drink, and then I had white wine. And then we went to a bar, and I had a vodka Red Bull,
Mm-hmm.
a shot
Classic.
of Casamigos, a Jaeger bomb,
Classic.
and then we get to the second bar, and then I have a vodka Red Bull
Classic.
and a shot of tequila. Which, by the way,
By
just
the
so
way.
people know, I don't know how people are listening, if any, and who goes to New York, but I went to a gay bar first. Well, they're both gay bars. I went to one gay bar, and we got a shot of tequila Casamigos. And for those of you watching, the glass was about this big, like a regular rocks glass. The shot was probably like like a third of that glass, 40 milliliters, a real shot. Downed it, Casamigos, chef's kiss, a little bit of
Bless.
lime. We go to fucking the other bar.
Oh no.
Fucking Dimetap, NyQuil, little cap cup thing filled with cheap ass tequila.
Ugh.
I shoot it back and I go, "Ugh." Like immediately I'm revolted by it. I eat the lime and I'm like chewing the lime because I'm like, this has to go away.
Oh.
So 7 drinks, I think. I think it was 7.
Wow. Lightweight.
I haven't drank in a while. Alcoholic.
I haven't drank in a while either, so who knows what's gonna happen. All right, I'm gonna give you some hot takes. Ready?
Oh, please.
This is our new segment. I'm calling it Spicy or Frigid. I'm still workshopping the name. So this is Spicy or Frigid, where we, the gays, rate Twitter hot takes on a scale of frigid to spicy. All right, here's the first one.
Yeah, lay it on me.
Okay, can I open this, please? Thank you.
Oh my god.
Okay, so here we go. This is from Twitter user @gayforghouls. Okay, hot
Me
take.
too.
Gay for ghouls. Okay, hot take. The idea that aliens would invade Earth enslave and or experiment on humanity, and harvest the Earth's resources is literally a projection of white supremacy at its root.
Ah,
All right.
that's wait. What's the spicy?
It's a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being frigid and 5 being spicy.
Oh, it's spicy.
Oh, it's spicy?
It's scalding.
Ooh.
Because not only does it put sort of the idea that aliens would want what we have, and that like it's like almost like putting us as like a high commodity, but the idea of invasion, the idea of enslavement is a very white idea.
That's true.
So,
Even experimenting on humanity, I feel like that's
well, that's happened. I believe was at the Tuskegee Institute.
Yes, I believe so. We
Yeah,
should talk about that in a different podcast episode though.
that was scalding hot.
Scalding hot. All right, let me read you another one. So that's a 5 then. You're rating that
Well, what are you
5
doing?
for spicy.
What are you rating it?
I'm also rating it 5 for spicy.
Nice.
Because I think that aliens would not, like, if an alien was intelligent enough to find us, they would not care about us at all. They're like, who are these humans? They can't even space travel? Like, what is going on? They're destroying their planet? Like, what's happening?
Fuck them.
Fuck them. I don't think aliens would give two shits about us.
Nice.
Anyway, here's another one. Ready?
Yeah, tell me.
This is from @Twitter user Keon the Goat. Hot take of the day: Marvel movies and television are 5 out of 10 nowadays and have lost their charm.
Oh, I don't think they've lost their charm. I don't think they're as good. Some of them are as good as old ones, but then again, some of them are better than old ones. I think that now we're having so much more content. There's way more diverse content, and there's also content of different production values. So you're gonna get different results. Like, for example, She-Hulk has a lower production value, as far as I know, to the newest Thor film. She-Hulk is much better than the new Thor film.
Ooh.
I enjoy She-Hulk so much. The Thor film was fine. Now, back in the day, old Marvel, quote unquote, like the first Thor film, the second Thor films were shit. In my opinion, I did not like them. I didn't like the writing, I didn't like the acting, whatever. And those are older Marvel properties. So I think this is like a 2.
Okay.
It's
okay.
it's chilly.
It's chilly. Yeah. Not frigid, but chilly.
But chilly.
I'm gonna
let's
give
go to
this.
Chili's.
I'm gonna give this a 3. So it's just like lukewarm.
Lukewarm. Ew. How I like all my liquid.
But yeah, I'm gonna give this lukewarm. I do think that some of the newer stuff pales in comparison to some of the older stuff, but I agree. Some of the newer stuff is really good, and I also think that some of the newer stuff gets a bad rap from a lot of people because they they want to feel nostalgic about how the Marvel movies are structured, and they get kind of upset when something deviates from what they're used to.
This is it's become the Star Wars franchise. Children who grew up with something are now adults with opinions about it, even though these things are still for children.
Yeah, exactly.
Also,
go ahead.
Watch She-Hulk, because that newest episode of She-Hulk deals with it's very meta on this topic, so I think you'd like it.
Oh, well, I do have to watch I have a lot to watch, okay?
You do.
Sandman, I want to watch that too.
Bitch.
All right, last one. This is from Twitter user Rana Valona 111. Hot take: people do not deserve to have nice things if it comes at the expense of someone else's health and well-being or the planet. Sometimes, actually, you're not worth it.
I mean, it's not wrong. Like I've said before, there's no way to be completely ethical in this society, especially in this
absolutely.
sort of economy that we have, the capitalist economy. There's no way to be 100% ethical. So, unless you live off the land in the woods somewhere by yourself, and even that, you could be on someone else's land. Technically, that's not good. But there's no way that you can be So some shit you shouldn't have. When it comes to mining the rare materials that is needed for a Tesla rechargeable battery. The white guy who buys a Tesla is going to feel great about himself because he's like, oh my God, a rechargeable car. I'm doing so much better for the environment. Well, the environmental damage that it took to mine those materials really kind of counteracts everything. And you're damaging someone else's country when you do that.
Exactly. Plus, you're giving money
So,
to Elon Musk.
oh, well, that's, yeah. Oh my God. Like, that's a whole other thing. Like, so, there, yeah, that's hot.
That's hot.
Um, I don't know if it's spicy because it's more of a nuanced conversation. So I think it's a 4. It's
Yeah,
hot.
yeah. I think I agree with you. I think I'm going with 4 as well. I saw the videos circulating on TikTok again. People saying like, if you're an ally or if you're a queer person, you really shouldn't eat at Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
And I semi agree. Like, obviously,
Mhm.
Chick-fil-A is spending money in places where it's being harmful to the queer community.
Yeah.
Um, but the problem with that take is that if you're going to take that route, then you need to cut off your money from every other corporation that is also doing the same thing, which all of them are doing the same thing. Like, maybe not as bad as Chick-fil-A is, but there are most big companies, like Walmart, for example, is also donating money to bad places. And like you were
Yeah.
saying, you can't be completely ethical with your money, especially if you don't have the if you don't have the financials in order to not shop at Walmart and go to other places. Like, some people
Yeah.
can only shop at Walmart, and then you're forced to be, victim to capitalist society. Like, it's
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even just the gay issue, the queer issue. Like, yeah, you have these places donating to all sorts of things. Some to anti-abortion,
yeah,
anti-voting rights, to pro-gun places, to pro-policing, to it. There's so much these things. Yeah, so much bad shit in the world that could be donated to. So the companies you buy from, yeah, they have their fingers in all these pots, and some of those pots are bad, and some of them are filled with bees. So you don't want to put your finger in there. But
okay.
let's move
But
on from that
do put your
point.
finger
In my
in
pot,
my ass. What?
does it pass the smell test? What I will
Anyway,
say is, you should, if you can shop local, shop local. But that's only if your town has a good local infrastructure. And what these
hmm
corporations do and these companies do, things like Amazon, things like Walmart, they push out local businesses because they're cheaper, they have
yeah,
a wider variety, and they're more consistent. So it's hard to shop local because some places don't even have a local area where you can know that your money's going only to certain people that don't have all these agendas. But everyone has an agenda, especially when you're dealing with giant corporations. So we're all fucked. We're all fucked.
we
And
all
the
fucked.
only thing we can do is make sure that dick has a condom on and it's well lubed because you're getting fucked anyway. But if you're going to do it, you're going to protect yourself as much as possible.
If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it right, and who knows, maybe it'll feel good.
No, we're not gonna. No, no. Just get on some prep, honey. Get
Get on some
some.
prep. Get on some prep.
Um.
Anyway,
Wow.
anything else you want to talk about?
There's a new Pokemon with the Grafai Eye, which is cute, based on the Eye monkey.
Yeah. Um, and you know what? Like, it's almost impossible to avoid these spoilers nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially with like new Pokemon and stuff, because like I really want to go into this game spoiler free, but it's impossible with social media
Impossible.
nowadays. Unless I just block myself out from Twitter or anything. But like,
Ooh, I love that.
until the game comes out, which would be like what, 2 months now to block myself off of Twitter. I can't do that. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I should go completely
Yeah.
cold turkey on social media and just not go on anything.
Yeah. And then get nude,
Okay.
just for
Uh,
fun.
just for fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks everyone for watching and or listening to this episode of the What Did the Gays Think
And
podcast.
or, but not reading, because
Not
Lea
reading, no,
Michele
because
would
Lea
not be
Michele
able to.
cannot read the transcript of this podcast.
Yeah.
Make sure to give us a follow on Twitter at WDTGT Podcast, which apparently I won't be posting to anymore because I'm going cold turkey until the Pokemon game comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, go there for Pat's updates on when we post new episodes and some other fun content. Go ahead and check out our Twitch at What Did the Gamers Think? GAYMERS. We stream on Mondays and Thursdays at like 8:30 Eastern time usually. Um, Also, we have some merch if you want to go check out the Redbubble page in the description. And we also have a Discord server, which you can join to chat with us if you'd like. It's called Pride Empire. Link in the description as well. Thanks, everybody. And I am Mac Lupek.
And I am just a hologram, a shadow of a higher dimensional being.
Love that. What would your fourth dimensional being look like?
Well, we live in 4 dimensions, but we can't perceive the fourth one. So
Yeah,
I'd assume it wouldn't look that much different.
Slay.
Because like my 2 dimensional self, my shadow is basically just my outline. So you lose depth to it, but it's around the same, shape. But I think so. If we're talking fifth and sixth though, oh girl,
Girl.
it's getting wacky, wild, inflatable arm flailing 2-man.
Oh. Anyway, goodbye. What are you gonna say? Would I fuck what?
Would you fuck your higher dimensional self?
Goodbye.